Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ruling Truth's Week 10 CFL Pick'em Show. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Now, I want to welcome in my esteemed colleagues. First up, we've got Os Davis.
Howdy. Great to be back. I was just saying, it seems like forever since I've been here.
Yeah, I mean, we may have missed you last week, but Joe was so good, we missed Joe now.
Oh, there you go. Hey, I feel like Wally Pipp.
Also, of course, we've got Brian Schmidt.
Hey, good to be here. Good to be talking to everybody. I can't wait to talk about Hamilton.
All right. Well, Os Davis probably didn't want to because he said we were stupid for thinking it'd be better. Also, help me welcome in former CFL Hall of Fame quarterback Dieter Brock.
Oh, ready for another week of great CFL action.
All right, and of course, four-time Grey Cup winner, Robert Drummond.
That sounds good. Four-time Grey Cup winner. That's pretty cool. But thanks for having me. Always good to talk football.
All right, so we're going to start off with Oz's Alouettes, who beat the Ottawa Red Blacks 43-19. Oz, what's up with your Alouettes?
How about that, huh? Well, you guys, those of you who are here probably remember how enthusiastic I was after week one when Kevin Glenn, who may not have the most powerful arm in the business anymore, still managed to spread that ball around, hit like many different targets through the game. And I really think that's what you have to do when everybody's keying on Drummond Carter. You have to find these other targets somewhere. And he did. He spread it out to, 7, 8 receivers. I got that he's hitting guys like Jean-Christophe Beaulieu out of the backfield. I mean, just fantastic stuff. Really nicely done. I'm much more interested in what seems to have happened to the psyche of the Ottawa Red Blacks at this point.
Yeah, at one point I think they were 4-0, weren't they? And since then they've had a tie and 3 losses.
Yeah, just deflated spirits over there or something.
Yeah, so we'll go to that. I mean, Robert, do you think the loss of Trevor Harris is that big of a effect, or is there something else wrong with the Red Blacks?
Remember I said the midpoint of the season, week 7, week 8, week 9, and week 10 are really what's going to refine the football teams and really, it'll really tell each team. The good teams will find out if they're good or not. The bad teams will find out if they're bad or not. Bad teams are winning. The good teams are losing. So it's at a point now where it's you're beginning to find yourself as a team because it's a midpoint of the season. Training camp is over. The first half of the season is over. They basically went out there and they got all that the good. You're going to see them play out of them. Now it's time to sit down and play football. And wow, what a bad loss. For the Red Blacks. Because right now that team's mentally they've got to be reeling because they're not as good as they thought. So right now they're either going to tank or they're going to be way more successful because they're going to rally around one another. My hat's off to Montreal, but Ottawa right now has got to be reeling because they were one of my top teams coming in this season.
Yeah, I had them number 1 in my power rankings coming into the season. But we'll talk a little bit about Montreal. I know, Dieter, you really like their defense. Kevin Glenn, 25 for 30, completed 83% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. They ran the ball well. They ran the ball for right around 75, 80 yards. And I think just as Oz said earlier, Drummond Carter caught 2 touchdown passes. But on top of that, Drummond Carter was 5 receptions. And then you had, Lewis with 8 receptions, Cunningham with 3, Rutley with 4. Do you think this is a point where maybe Alouettes can turn their season around?
I don't believe so. I know they play. They're so up and down, Mike. They are up and down. 1 week they'll score 40, and the next week they can't even score 10.
They are definitely hard.
Huh?
They are definitely hard.
Well, I don't know. Glenn plays great at times. And then, I'm not blaming it all on Glenn. I just think it's their team. They just can't play consistently. I like their defense. I've said that from the get-go. But, look, Ottawa they're going to get Trevor Harris back, I think, this week. Just like we said, when Collaris comes back, this is going to be on a different team. And I think it's good. They're going to show it when Harris comes back, they're going to show what kind of team they really are.
Yeah, Brian, do you think that Trevor Harris coming back will right all the wrongs with the Ottawa Red Blacks?
Well, it certainly can't hurt. I think, it's kind of the same way with Zach Clare, the same way with Trevor Harris. I mean, he is a difference maker quarterback, and guys like that tend to help everything. They help the defense. They help everything. So I definitely think it's going to elevate them. I mean, look, let's look back to when Trevor Harris was playing. I mean, this team, again, maybe not a great defensive team, and they've never been a great defensive team, but this team was going to score 40, every week. When you bring that kind of firepower to the field, I mean, it changes everything, and I think he definitely makes them better. And once he's back, I mean, I think you're going to see kind of Ottawa kind of getting back to where they are. But again, and like Robert said, I mean, you get in the middle part of the season and you start really seeing who can grind it out, and so I think the next couple of weeks with Ottawa is going to be a very interesting time.
All right, and then we go on to what was the game of the year so far. It was hyped, the third matchup between the Stampeders and the Lions. Brian, what happened? You completely missed on that pick, 37-9 Calgary.
Man, so did you, by the way, I believe, though.
That's all right. I'm the host. We don't even care what I pick. We just care that you really blew this one, Brian.
Yeah. Way to deflect that one to me. Yeah,
You see what he did? You see what he did?
Boy, that was a bad pick. That was, but again, coming back to just how good Calgary is. I mean, this best team right now in the league, and offense, defense, special teams, everything. I mean, they really put it on them.
Yeah, and if you look at them offensively, Dieter, I mean, you got Bo Levi Mitchell, maybe the best quarterback in the league. You got Messam, who's playing great as a runner. As Brian said, I mean, they play defense at a higher level than anybody else in this league. Is there anybody that can stop them right now?
Best offensive line.
Best offensive line.
Yeah. I don't. Calgary. I think overall, offense and defense are the best right now. Mitchell is probably one of the top three in the league, quarterback, maybe the best. But I'd throw Kalaris and maybe Trevor Harris. Mike Riley probably is one of those guys too. But Calgary's got it going right now, and it's going to be interesting this week, though.
Yeah. Robert, what was your take on Calgary? I think we've all pretty much thought Calgary was the best team over the last few weeks, but I don't think too many of us thought they were that much better than BC.
You know what? Calgary's making a statement right now. As I said before, it's the middle of the season. Calgary making a statement that they're the best team in the CFL right now. And Bo Levi Mitchell right now is just playing. He's playing the type of football that you need to play to be a dominant team, which means he's not making mistakes. He's not making mistakes. He's going out there and he's allowing his offense to score points and and keeping the other offense off the field. So when he's not doing that, the defense is playing great too. Offense, defense, special teams. They're just playing consistent, great football right now. And you know what? And they've made a point of who's the best team in the CFL right now. And it's the midpoint now. Now other teams need to watch and take notice.
Yeah, because right now, Oz, this is basically Calgary and then everybody else.
Yes.
Oh. I mean, it's funny how he keeps saying right now, and it's funny that no one has noticed this. This team is 6-1-1, are they not? They lost in week 1. That's it. They haven't lost since opening week when they came out.
Yeah, in a game they could have easily won, too.
Right, exactly. They were a score away from winning that one. It's not like recently. I mean, this team apparently, unbeknownst to all of us.
See, I do, though. I think it's recently because of this. I think they've been dominant the last few weeks, where before they were just doing enough to win the games.
Yes. Yeah.
And also remember, guys, I mean, Bo Levi Mitchell has been the guy that's been there all year, and some of these other teams have lost their quarterbacks and are now just getting them back. So, it's going to make it a lot more interesting.
That's the reason why they've been so successful the last 2 years. I mean, he has played basically every quarter of the last 2 seasons. And they won, 14 games a year in both those seasons. I mean, these things are not coincidental. And I should point out, too, that, again, this offensive line, okay, they had given up 4 sacks and 3 sacks to the same BC Lions pass defense. This game, 0. 0 sacks allowed against arguably, apparently the second best defense in the league right now. Incredible. Just a fantastic game from Calgary. They are the class of the CFL.
All right, that brings us to Edmonton 46, Toronto 23. Dieter, if you ever want to make a comeback, I think Toronto may take you right now.
Well, I tell you, they need Ricky Ray back, and I'm not sure when he's coming back.
Yeah, because Logan Kilgore, 41 passing yards, is not going to get it done.
Well, and 10 interceptions this year already, and all the turnovers that's killing Toronto. And I really like Stuber's defense, but when they're turning the ball over like that, they can't be in the game, and they're not in the game, and they really need Ricky Ray back. Yeah, I mean, Robert, what's your take on Edmonton and Toronto? Because to me, I caught a lot of crap from people with my power rankings because I still haven't had Edmonton like 5 or 6. They're telling me they made all these changes. But my point is this. They have not played well in a long time, and they just beat Toronto. And right now, Toronto is down there with Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I mean, wow, Toronto made Edmonton look a lot better than what Edmonton really is. And I'm coming from someone who, Coach Stubler was there when I played in Toronto also, and his defense was always a fly-around defense that pressure you into making mistakes. And it's just that they just seem to be on the field way too long when those guys are exhausted. I mean, it shows so much, with Ricky Ray not being in the game. Toronto is just so dysfunctional on offense. They don't seem to have an identity. They don't seem to have any type of poise. They don't seem to have any type of presence. And they're struggling without him. We don't have that senior, that leadership in your quarterback position. It's like this. We always say, it runs downhill. Right now for Toronto, all bad things are starting to run downhill and it's snowballing. And hopefully they can get him back. Try and make some noise because right now they're struggling.
So Brian, if you're the coach of Toronto, what do you do about the quarterback right now?
Call Dieter.
There you
go. They should have not let Trevor Harris go.
Yeah. I mean, right now, boy, what do you do? I mean, you're obviously, I would think you're scouring the world right now to find a guy, but I mean, they
don't have a backup. They don't.
No, I
mean,
don't
have anybody who can come in.
Bernardo or something. There. He was 6 for 12 for 44 yards.
I mean, you're on the phone with the training staff, almost hourly. Is Ricky Ray going to be ready? Is Ricky Ray going to be ready? I mean, right now, you're just trying to hold water. Hope that maybe you can, win a game or so defensively, and then you can get him back. But I mean, it's, right now, I mean, it's awful hard to coach a football game when you don't have a quarterback. And I've been there, and I know what that's like. And I mean, it's, you can come up with a plan A, but the problem is when you don't have a good quarterback, I mean, there is no plan B. And we're seeing that right now. I mean, they're going out there with a plan A and just, I think just hoping that it's a low-scoring game. He doesn't make any mistakes, but, the interceptions are killing him.
Yeah, the one saving grace for them, though, Oz, is the fact that they're in the East Division at 4-4. They're only a half game out, and the team that's in first is playing just as bad as them, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the East is very weak. I mean, at the beginning of the season, we were talking about crossover from the West in the playoffs, and that's still in play, I think. You can easily see 4 teams from the West making it as opposed to 2 in the East. But look, and, I agree with the earlier assessment by Dieter that, Montreal is so incredibly inconsistent. You can't count on them. But look, Montreal can play this on again, off again, week to week, apparently. Apparently, they're going to, get in with a 7-11 record. It's not like Toronto can coast. Toronto can't run with Casper the Friendly Ghost at quarterback. They can't. They need something there, and it's not going to happen. on top of this, they have several other weaknesses. I mean, they're by far the worst team in the CFL statistically on special teams, for example. Second of all, they're just not pressuring at all on the defense at all. You don't see any rush there. Sean Lemon got through. Was it this game? Yeah, Sean Lemon got through for a couple of sacks. Good for him, but I don't see anything else on this Toronto defense either. They're just not that good. They're going to have to win more than this to make the playoffs.
All right, that brings us to Hamilton, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who beat Saskatchewan 53-7. We'll, of course, start off with Oz here, who said that he didn't think Zach Collaros would make that big of a difference. But he did throw 5 touchdown passes, 381 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. They dominated the Rough Riders 53-7. So, Oz, do you just want to go ahead and apologize to me, Robert, Dieter, and Brian?
Well, if you're going to spin it like that, I would apologize. But I categorically deny being so extremist.
So now you're like a Democrat or a Republican. All right.
Exactly.
Even though we got, the film of it, we can show it, we can hear it, it just didn't happen, right?
I am.
Plus, I think
Obama.
You made a prediction that the Hamilton Ticats would suck with Collaros through an email, too.
That they would suck?
Yeah, and you were supposed to use the Grueling Truth email account, but you used your own private one, but we'll let that go.
Yeah, Yeah, we will let that go. So I think that I am being painted a bit extremist here. Yes. Okay, I have admitted fully in writing at thegruelingtruth.net that I am the last Collaros skeptic, but I am no longer skeptical. I mean, even after that first half. And I did say, and I have said all along, look, you 4 guys, you actually have like professional level experience. I'm just a fan. I've just been watching this stuff since I was a kid. That's it. I've seen a lot of games, but I don't know like the inner workings. The argument about how the defense relaxes. The defense is able to take chances if they know they got the guy that can run the scoreboard. Okay, you're right. I get that, and I full well admitted that. So I just want to say that I didn't feel so extreme. But yes, I mean, Collaros has blown away any doubts, and of course Hamilton's going to be in the Grey Cup, of course.
All right, so since Oz apologized profusely, Robert, you want to go ahead?
You know what, as a former player, Dieter will attest to this also, Collaros has played like as if he has something to prove. I mean, he's at a different level right now, and that's scary for every other team. Because, when this young man goes out there right now, he's going to put a lot of points on the board, and he knows that. I mean, this is the kind of quarterback you want going into the midway into the end of the season. You want a quarterback who's confident. You want a quarterback who's determined. You want a quarterback who's hungry. This young man's hungry. I mean, you can tell it. Just the numbers he's putting up, he has something to prove. And, the rest of the CFL better stand back, and take notice because Hamilton, as we said before, at the middle of the season, Hamilton's going to be a force to be reckoned with the rest of the season. I agree both. They will be in the Grey Cup also.
Yeah, and if you look at him, Brian, I mean, with Collaros, Masoli's your backup. Toronto would kill to have Masoli right now. But you got C.J. Gable in the backfield. You got, Tolliver, Fantuz, Banks, Owens. I mean, this team is loaded offensively. They're solid defensively, especially when you put that offense there. I mean, I don't see anybody in the East that can stop them, do you?
No, this is, and I've said this from, week 1. I mean, when you bring him back, it will change everything. When you've got weapons and then you've got a quarterback as good as he is, he elevates everybody. So these weapons are now, it's like going from good to great. And that's what they've done. And then also now it elevates your defense. Everything about this team, again, the key word here is, he's got to stay healthy. The key parts have got to stay healthy. But everything with this team screams, going and playing for a Grey Cup because it's all around me. I mean, there's just so much talent here. And now you bring a guy that's, the magician of bringing them all together. This team to me is going to be one of the best teams. And even if they lose a game, a game or two right now, I mean, you want to be playing your best football come the end. And I think that we're going to see them continue to develop. And again, 53-7 against Saskatchewan. I mean, sometimes I feel like I could have gone out and played quarterback and scored 53.
Once again, I have film that will show everybody that you could have. Dieter, do you agree, or are we kind of reading too much into Hamilton just off a weekend or two?
No, I definitely agree with everybody's opinion there of Claire's. I think their defense, Hamilton's defense, certainly is feeding off his ability and what he brings to the team, and so Hamilton's going to be one of those teams that's going to be there at the end, I think, and of course now Ottawa is going to be back into it also with Trevor Harris back in, so it's going to be very interesting between those two teams, and unless Ricky Ray can get back to Toronto, they're going to be out of it.
All right, so it's time for our pick section, which we have done a lot better over the last few weeks. We will start off with Oz, BC at Ottawa.
Okay, great. Because I'm glad you chose me first. Because first of all, I'll just say I'm going with BC Lions. Now, the second question, the question is this for the rest of you guys. Okay, during this game, during the Ottawa game, they were talking about this so-called quarterback controversy once Trevor Harris is ready to go again. One dude, the color guy, and whose name I did not pay attention to, even said that, no, it's Burris's team, and Burris is still going to be the starter. Okay, so my question for the coaches is, there is no quarterback controversy here. It's Harris, right? And for the players, it's this. Is Burris done, or does he show the signs of being done? BC Lions.
Well, I can tell you this. For me, I'm going to go with the guy that got me to 4-0.
Okay.
I mean, Brian?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the guy that got me to 4-0. I'm at a crossroads with this game because, I want to pick Ottawa because of Trevor Harris, but I also know, it's his first game back. There'll be some rust on, and, I'm going to go with BC on this one, but that's only because I think, he'll have some rust, and I think BC is going to have a little something to prove, but this one's hard for me because I keep going back and forth, but I'm going to go with BC.
All right, Robert?
I'm ready with BC. BC, that defense was embarrassed. And Trevor Harris' first game being back, trust me, I know how rusty you can be in your first game coming back. You're going to be really excited, make a few mistakes here and there, and I think BC will capitalize. So I got to go with BC in the defense and win this game.
All right, Dieter?
Oh, I'm going to go against everybody on this one. I'm with Trevor Harris coming back and they're playing at home, BC is, shown that, they can be scored on. I like Ottawa. I like Ottawa because of the fact Harris is in there, and of course, the quarterback for BC, Jennings, is good, but with this game being in Ottawa and Harris being back and the loss that Ottawa had last week to Montreal, I think they're going to bounce back, and this is going to be their game.
Yeah, I'm going with Dieter. I'm going with Ottawa also. My thing is this. We keep saying how good BC's defense is, but it seems like every week now they give up 30, 40 points, and we make excuses for them. I'm thinking maybe we're to the point where maybe BC's defense isn't all it's cracked up to be. Next game, let's start off with Dieter. Winnipeg at Montreal.
Ooh, okay. Now this is going to be an interesting game here. I started off wrong by picking against my team earlier in the year. I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to stay with Winnipeg. They had the bye week. They know who they're playing, so they had plenty of time to prepare for Montreal. Matt Nichols has played 3 really good games in a row. Their defense is playing a lot better. Matter of fact, it may be one of the better defenses in the league these last 3 games. So, and the way Montreal is up and down, I mean, they were really up last week. So I'm thinking they're going to be down this week, and I'm going with Winnipeg.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dieter again because Montreal just played well, and it seems like they play well once a month, so we should be safe picking against them for a couple weeks. Oz?
Well, I'm going to go for Winnipeg as a Montreal fan because every time I bet against Montreal,
I thought you've always.
I think you're using my strategy.
Yeah, I don't think Oz is really a Montreal fan. And how did you become an Alouettes fan? You live in California.
Oh yeah, but I was born and raised in New Hampshire. I spent
Was that because Vince Ferragamo went to Montreal?
That didn't work out too good for Vince, though.
No.
It's a long story, but the CFL has always been in the background of my sports fandom at very least. And way back in the day, we used to watch like black and white games from Sherbrooke. Get a little station broadcasting out of Sherbrooke, Quebec, the Montreal Alouettes games. So that was like the first CFL team I ever saw. That was the first one I ever watched at all. So that's the short of it. Plus, you know, they're the old Baltimore team as well, right? So
yeah.
So I like that. I like that CFL USA. But anyway, yeah, the only knock that can be made about Winnipeg is that they just today one of the beat reporters was saying that 6 of their players, including Weston Dressler, including Jeff Keeping on the offensive line, including Julian Posey, who they were hoping would be back for this game, won't be back for this game. But they've been doing okay recently without these guys. So, and I was thinking today that once Dressler does come back, wow, Winnipeg's going to look even nicer. This team is suddenly becoming a playoff team. It's fantastic. But yeah, Winnipeg in this game.
All right, Robert.
You know what? Common sense would tell me to go with Winnipeg in this game, but I'm going to say Montreal, but I'm going to have a feeling they're going to not be a Jekyll and Hyde team that somehow, some way put two weeks together in a row where they play consistent and good football. You know what? So I mean, I'm going to personally go with Montreal and a little bit of an upset here because Winnipeg's been playing great lately. But I feel Montreal is going to somehow find a way midway through the season to finally get it together and right the ship and put two weeks together in a row and win this game.
All right, Brian.
I'm going to go with Winnipeg. I just think they've been playing great. My biggest fear is, you know, the bye week killing the momentum. But, you know, I feel like, you know, again, kind of going with what everybody has said, I just feel like Montreal, they play well, and then for the next few weeks they don't. So I'm going to kind of go with that theory today. You know, I'm going to go with Winnipeg.
All right, the next game, the red-hot Saskatchewan Roughriders against the Edmonton Eskimos. Let's just do this. Is there anybody here that's going to pick Saskatchewan?
No.
All right, so we'll move on to what is the new game of the year. We've got the Hamilton Ticats at the Calgary Stampeders. Brian?
Ooh.
Oh man, this is going to be a great one. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with Hamilton. I'm going to go with you know, kind of. I guess if I were to say I had a team, Hamilton's it, and you know, I just feel like, you know, with Zach Claris back and the weapons they have, I mean, right now they're playing on a high, and you know, it's time for the best to play the best and see what happens. I'm going to go with Hamilton and maybe a little bit of an upset.
All right, Dieter.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Brian. I think it probably would be a little of an upset here. Calgary has been so, you know, they've been so good all year, and they are playing at home. But I just, you know, Hamilton, I think it's got it going right now, and you know, their defense players are playing really well, and with Claris being back, they've got a couple of games under his belt now, and playing so well. I'm going to pick Hamilton with a, you know, like Brian said, a slight upset here.
All right, Robert.
Grey Cup preview. Yeah. It's so hard for me, you know. I mean, playing in Calgary is a monster. I mean, with the crowd, the atmosphere, the pageantry. It's the word I can use. It's just tough. I mean, my gut tells me that Hamilton will win this game, but I mean, it's just hard to beat Calgary in Calgary. So I'm gonna have to go with Calgary in a close game.
All right, Oz.
Yeah, and a coin flip. I'm going with Robert. He beat me to the line about the Grey Cup thing. He beat me to home team. I mean, Calgary is still the only team in the CFL that is unbeaten at home. They're unbeaten since week 1. Now, you would say that, okay, they've got to lose someday, but I'm not getting off the horse, literally in this case, just yet. I'm going Calgary.
Well,
Calgary wins.
I look at it like this. I believe Hamilton will win the Grey Cup, but I believe Calgary will win this game. I mean, right now, if you look at Calgary, I think they're number 1 in points scored, number 1 in points allowed. Kind of hard to top that. I think the running game's a little bit better than Hamilton's. I think their offensive line's a little bit better than Hamilton's. Collaros has only played 2 games. I'm going to go with Calgary in a close game, but I think these are the 2 best teams now.
Yeah, I think they are too. Ottawa may have something to say about that though, with Harris coming back. So we'll see. Yeah,
and you never know about Winnipeg if they keep winning.
That's right.
If they can keep the schedule going, where they just have bye weeks and play Montreal and Saskatchewan.
Well, what they got? They got Saskatchewan back to back after this week, don't they?
Yeah, so they could be sitting at 7-4.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're going to be looking a lot better than some people's Alouettes. The one thing we missed last week, and then, Brian, I don't know if you've missed it this week too, but there's been no Oz rant.
I know. I haven't missed it. I mean, obviously there wasn't one last week, but
well, I mean, none of us had missed it. I was just joking and bringing it up.
I just kind of been that. I was kind of expecting it today. I even wanted to get the music queued up, and
I guess the rants only come when the Alouettes get beat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, was not my overly verbose, self-justification for doubting Zach Collaros enough?
No, that was more of an apology and
I mean, you were apologizing. You're putting your tail between your legs and just hoping for forgiveness, so we didn't just have Joe Pritchard on every week.
You were kind of hoping it would be forgotten about, but I know that Mike's memory is bad, but I was going to make sure that he remembered it. So. Yeah,
and we all know this. If Zach Collaros would have played like crap the last 2 weeks and they'd have got blown out, Oz would have brought it up.
Oh, he would have brought it up. We would have been talking about Montreal and Winnipeg, and he would have brought it up in that. So. Yeah,
Oz would have been tweeting about it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's me.
So, any final words,
Oz? Help. Help me. Seriously.
Brian, any final words since Oz wants help?
Well, please nobody help him. And first of all, I want to thank everybody that voted for me for the head coaching job, even though it didn't work out. I appreciate everybody's vote, and because
it was rigged. But good.
Oh boy, was it ever! But I'm I appreciate everybody, and I'm looking forward to Hamilton and Calgary. I may have to stop my whole day to watch that game. When it happens. I usually watch the games kind of after they're played, but I may have to watch that one when it happens.
All right. Dieter.
Well, last week it seemed like it was blowout week. Every game was a blowout, and I'm thinking this week may be all close games. So we will see. It should be an interesting week.
All right, Robert.
Right now, teams are jockeying for that psychological position. Hamilton and Calgary are pretty much 2 dominant teams right now in the CFL. And now everyone else pretty much, with the exception of Saskatchewan, to the middle of the pack. These next couple of weeks are going to really determine who rises and who falls. Right now this game, Hamilton Calgary, is going to be a great game, and it's really going to put the front runner in the position to be the most dominant team in the CFL right now. So it's going to be an interesting and great game.
All right, guys. Remember, you can check us out every Monday night. We'll be back next Monday night. We'll talk about the Calgary game, see how many stupid things I said that didn't come true this week. Hey, Robert, your Syracuse Orangemen, when do they open their season? 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks against Colgate University here at the Carrier Dome. 7:30, I think the game is.
Are you doing that game on TV, or?
I'm doing that game on TV.
All right, so everybody have to check that out too. Has Colgate got a chance, or?
No.
No.
When the national anthem over, the game's pretty much over. So.
It's just a tube of toothpaste, anyway. But guys, make sure you check out all of our shows during the week, from Out of Left Field, our Major League Baseball show, to the Rouge, White, and Blue with Oz and Joe Pritchard. So make sure you check out all those shows. You can find us on iHeart, TuneIn, iTunes, anywhere you find any kind of podcast, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for Brian Schmidt, Os Davis, Robert Drummond, Dieter Brock, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.